Well, we have a little bit of a later show here today, and I get it. There is an entire freaking hockey game going on that everybody is paying attention to at the moment. It is Sweden, it is Finland, and I am not watching the game. I am just here, chilling out in the hotel room, getting ready to go and do some more fun activities. I visited Alcatraz yesterday. It was pretty fun. Yeah, San Francisco has been a blast. But in today's video, we are going over an update on the Detroit Red Wings and one of their trade situations that has been kind of in the spotlight here the past few weeks. And normally it's weird because we never see any Detroit Red Wings trade-related activity until the trades are actually made. It's difficult to find information from Stevie Y and his team because they are like a vault when it comes to withholding information from the speculative media. But over the past few weeks, we have seen one name that the Red Wings have indeed been interested in. You already know him from the title, from the thumbnail. Today we are going over the latest when it comes to Detroit and Buffalo Sabres forward Dylan Cozens. This show is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Go out there and check out the first link in the description to save some money on your VPN, get some free months, and support this YouTube channel in the process. Cozens has been a name that was first linked to Detroit in the Buffalo media. There were some folks over there who talk about Buffalo Sabres hockey, who cover the beat over there, and who reported that the Detroit Red Wings were interested in this guy. Now, as we had said, it's always been sort of a smokescreen to see Detroit get linked in trade rumors because Stevie Y doesn't like to let things leak. But this wasn't a leak from the Red Wings' point of view, it was more so of insider info from the Buffalo side. So, hearing that Stevie Y was targeting this Dylan Cozens, a 23-year-old, or excuse me, now 24-year-old, yeah, his birthday was 6 days ago, a 24-year-old, 6'3", 194-pound right-handed center right wing, who was signed on till the end of 2030, making $7.1 million a year, a former 7th overall pick in the 2019 NHL Entry Draft, who has produced fewer and fewer points as the years have gone on. It was always going to be an interesting footnote. Now, Cozens did have a 68-point campaign 2 seasons ago, 81 games played, 31 goals and 37 assists. The year after, he had 47 points in 79 games, and this year he is on pace for 41 points. The Buffalo Sabres have been up and down the past little while with their production, Tage Thompson being a 90 near 100-point guy to declining the next season and now fizzling around the point-per-game mark in 24-25. But the Buffalo Sabres have been in a pretty tough spot, and as a result, you're getting a bunch of dudes all over the trade market, from the Dylan Cozenses to the Owen Powers to the Bowen Byrams, and to other guys like Zucker and Tuck and whomever else you want to go out there and name that isn't named Tage Thompson or Rasmus Dahlin. Anyways, when it comes to Buffalo and Detroit, the Dylan Cozens fit with the Red Wings does seem like something that would mesh well with Todd McClellan's brand of hockey. Cozens is a workhorse from Whitehorse. He skates hard, he plays hard, he's got some skill, and he had a 30-goal season before. Plus, he is young enough where if you want to say the best is yet to come, that argument definitely does exist here. It's just a question as to whether or not that is going to fully manifest in Buffalo, or if a change in scenery is fully necessary for this player to take the next step. With Detroit, if he were to be, let's say, the second-line center, right behind Dylan Larkin, I think that's a pretty good one, too. It's not the best in the world, Larkin-Cozens, but if Cozens becomes the 75 to 80-point guy that some of us believed he would have been a few years ago, whilst having that two-way stability and that aggression, I mean, Larkin Cozens could be maybe a top 10 center core in the league. Center duo, I guess you can say. But now, the update that we're getting on this video here is from Ansar Khan, who went out there and posted some information about the Red Wings' chase for this guy. Here's the post by Red Wings coverage on Instagram yesterday. According to Ansar Khan, a longtime Red Wings reporter, he mentioned that the Wings remain interested in Cozens, but they will not move Kasper or Edvinsson to get him. And that makes things a lot more difficult from the Buffalo Sabres' point of view. If I were to guess, I'd say that Kasper and Edvinsson are the two most valuable quote-unquote young guys on this Red Wings team. Now, I get it, you can say that Lucas Raymond is also young, and you have Seider, who is in that same age range too, but it feels kind of different to talk about those guys because those players are pillars of the Red Wings organization right now. They've been on the team for a few years, they have grown and really matured their games, and they are pure prime NHL stars. Kasper and Edvinsson are not there yet, and it's very well possible that they can get there over the next few years. Although, honestly, I'm not really too sure about Kasper. Like, can he be as good as Lucas Raymond? Raymond's like a 90-point guy. Or at least he's projecting to being a player who's capable of 90 points in a season at some point in his career. But Marco Kasper, he is a bit younger, has that center experience, can play down the middle. If the Red Wings wanted to keep Kasper in an ideal world, you have Kasper, Raymond, Larkin, your first line. You have Cozens with Kane and DeBrincat on your second line. If everybody works out to their potential, if Patty Kane is able to still be okay as he gets older, then this looks like an incredible top six. Simon Edvinsson is also an important piece of this Red Wings team. Young guy on the blue line, a stabilizing force on that left side. He is yet another big dude with some skills, with some mobility. There's a lot to like out of Simon Edvinsson, and because he is also young, younger than Raymond, he's 22 years old, the Wings have a lot of reason to hold on to Kasper and Edvinsson, two young guys who are already pretty okay players in the National Hockey League who are just going to get better as they get more years of experience. But to hold back these assets in some sort of a Cozens trade really does make things a little bit more difficult for the Buffalo POV. Sure, I don't want to go out there and dismiss the fact that Detroit does have other prospects that Buffalo might be interested in. Other younger guys like Nate Danielson or Michael Brandsegg-Newgard or Axel Sandin-Pellikka if you really wanted to stretch it there, although I don't know if that's really a fit that Buffalo would want for their organization. There are guys in the Red Wings organization that are valuable. But for Buffalo, my question is, where exactly do they set their sights on in thinking about a Cozens trade? Because you're trading away a piece that essentially is perfect for the Buffalo Sabres and their timeline. A young team trying to get better, trying to force themselves into the wild card and eventually use that leadership that they have in Zucker and Tuch to take that next step and carry these younger dudes into the future. Dylan Cozens signed on long-term at $7 million. If he's able to be a consistent 80, 85, 90-point guy, then okay, that's a great contract. But right now, the guy's on pace for 40, 50 points. That's kind of underwhelming. And you can definitely say that the best is yet to come for Dylan Cozens, but the fact that he is declining in Buffalo begs the question as to whether or not this is the right fit for the player. So obviously in the trade, they would want another guy in this similar age range, right? They don't want to go full-on rebuild, retool, let's get all younger guys mode in some sort of an acquisition here. They need guys that can contribute now. Kasper and Edvinsson do that. But for Buffalo to not have access to those players certainly makes this trade conversation a lot more difficult. I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you're a Red Wings fan, how does this entire update make you feel that Edvinsson and Kasper are off the table? If you had a choice, yay or nay to Dylan Cozens, do you want this guy even on your hockey team? I know last time we made this video, a lot of folks in the comments said they didn't want Dylan Cozens. There were, however, a bunch that said that they did. So this will be an open floor on the Buffalo Sabres forward Dylan Cozens. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you're a Wings fan, how do you feel? If you're a Sabres fan, what do you think the Wings should be able to give up in this sort of a deal to make it work? And if you had to work around no Kasper, no Edvinsson, how do you feel about what other prospects are available at your hand here? What are your thoughts on Axel Sandin-Pellikka? What are your thoughts on Michael Brandsegg-Newgard? What are your thoughts on Nate Danielson? What are your thoughts on some of the other guys in the AHL that Detroit has cooking and developing? Is there anybody that stands out in the Buffalo Sabres' mind as to potential returns for Dylan Cozens? If you want to actually get a player back, then okay, we're going to have that discussion because it's a lot more difficult than if you just want some draft picks back, right? So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Dylan Cozens and this Red Wings trade update. I hope you enjoyed this video. 9 and bye.